One of my intentions in returning home was to give back by sharing one of the things I love most, songwriting. So I joined forces with my brother-in-law and fellow songwriter Will Bartz to offer a class to the community. I like your technique that you were saying of play the chord and find a note inside of the chord that you hear. I think that's a really good tip. For 1 week, we worked with 6 local residents, sharing our insights into the craft and giving them feedback.
How'd you know that's what I had planned? If I want you to go away.
I've been running around, my head facing down. Don't know what's going on around me.
Yeah, that's great.
And then can I do like that kind of a thing? Do like C, A minor, F, G, and then go back into.
For that line,
Because the
that's
life
a little
is
extended, I would add that C in there.
around, my head facing down. Don't know what's going on around me.
Great.
That's not the same I did before.
It was beautiful. Right, is what you're saying? Is that right? Yep. Sorry.
It doesn't go with that though. I don't know.
Love that. Blink of an eye, time flies.
Yeah, but that's still generic. Like I know I think way too hard.
Can I ask what are you singing about right now?
Just like you're little and then you're like, oh, you have to go to college and stuff.
And this is something you're experiencing right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's sort of like your whole childhood has flashed by
Yeah,
basically,
yeah.
and now people want.
That's
to
what I
make
meant by
decisions.
the letting, the losing thing.
Well, I think what would be a good technique for you, especially when it's something that is is real to
Yeah.
you, is to just journal. A lot of times I'll do like free association writing. One of the residents was local author and bed and breakfast owner Sherrie Hansen, whose husband joined to sing the song she'd written.
Hope, joy, peace, love, gentle blessings from above.
Sherrie brought to the class a song she was writing based on a character from her recent novel, Seaside Daisy.
Gold can be a blessing, and gold can be a curse, but true love is the greatest gift, the better or the worse. Where my seaside daisy's shanty is, on the wild Atlantic way, there's treasure at the rainbow's end, in the caves on Dingle Bay.
I think rhythmically it would flow better possibly if you put shanties, if you would get rid of the is and either tie it onto shanty or tie it onto on.
Where my seaside daisy's shanty is on the wild Atlantic way, there's a treasure.
Throughout the rest of the week, we worked on each songwriter's songs until they were ready to present them in a public charity showcase.
So what's been happening throughout the week is 6 different area residents have been working with Will and I on writing original songs. And they've written some really brilliant songs that I can't wait for you to hear. The experience of playing a song for the first time that you wrote yourself in front of an audience, I can tell you, can be a very nerve-wracking experience. And so what I want to invite everybody here tonight to do is to make this a super, super supportive space. So let's cheer, let's sing along, let's hoot, let's holler, and make people know, that we really are proud of them for the fact that they're sitting up here and being vulnerable with us tonight. Does that sound all right? Yeah. You ready? I'm ready. Cool. Ladies and gentlemen, Sam Riley!
Comes to fight it once again.
Yeah!
What did I say this time to make you think that I don't care? I can't get what you
she just came in with this beautiful, strong idea, and she wrote this song this week. If this is what I think it is, I know I can't go on like this. If this is what I think it is, I think it's gonna break my heart. Up next, we have another original song by one of my favorite voices in this entire class, and I'm so excited to have her here tonight. Make some noise for Maddie Blake. Come on up, Maddie. Yes. Keep going. Maddie Blake, everybody! So excited for this next tune. I've fallen in love with it. It's such a beautiful song, and it was written by our own Sherrie Hansen. Where my seaside daisy shanties on the wild Atlantic way, there's a treasure at the rainbow's end in the caves on Rainbow Bay. In the caves on Rainbow Bay.
Gold can be a blessing, and gold can be a curse. But true love is the greatest gift through bitter and through worse.
Where my seaside daisy shanties on the wild Atlantic way, there's a treasure at the rainbow's end in the caves on Rainbow Bay. Sherrie Hansen, everybody, and Mark.
1 year later, I got to catch up with Sherrie on Zoom from her bed and breakfast, the Bluebell Inn. So I am here with Sherrie Hansen. Hi, Sherrie.
Hi, Ben. It's nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. Are you in the Bluebell right now?
I am at the Bluebell, yes.
Oh,
This
how
is our
lovely.
favorite table is called the Arch Window.
Can you tell us a little bit about the Bluebell?
Well, I lived in Colorado Springs for 12 years and I loved it there, but I was divorced and I didn't have any kids of my own. And I kept thinking that it would be nice to move back to the Midwest so I could be near my family and I would get to be Auntie Sherrie to my nieces and nephews if I wasn't going to be a mother. And so I started looking for a way that I could support myself back in this largely rural area. And I'm a pretty creative person. I like to cook and do interior design and I'm a people person. And so I came up with the idea of opening a bed and breakfast. And then it was a matter of finding the right house, which I found here in St. Ansgar. And I was able to purchase the house for $18,000,
Wow.
which made it a fairly riskless venture. And at that time, that's kind of what I needed to prompt me to move back here. And I bought the house in 1991. And at the time, my dad said, you know, you're never going to get rich doing this in St. Ansgar, Iowa, but if you get to live where you want to live and do something that you love doing, you'll be way ahead of 90% of the people in this world. And he was exactly right, because I've been happy and I've been around my family, which I wanted. I've got to know all my nieces and nephews, and I've gotten to do something I love doing. So I've been here for 29 years now. So it's fairly amazing. I don't know if I had any concept of it. And I have a tea house, which is open for lunch and dinner. And of course, right now we're doing a lot of takeout food. And then I have a bed and breakfast that has 5 rooms. And at some point I bought the little house just to the north of the Bluebell called Anne's House of Dreams, and we can sleep another 8 people over there. So in normal times, we have quite a thriving business between people coming to celebrate anniversaries and girlfriend getaways and family reunions and just people coming to enjoy the bed and breakfast. And then we have murder mysteries in the dining room. And we have a great group of actors, and I've had a lot of musicians perform here over the years. And so there's not a lot to do in St. Ansgar, so I tried to make it a venue for people just to come and enjoy spending the weekend here. And of course, they enjoy poking around in the shops downtown and maybe floating down the Cedar River and swinging on our front porch swing. And so anyway, it's been a great run.
It's such a charming place, and congratulations on running it for so long. I know that, to be a business owner in contemporary America is a little bit of a challenge, or can be for folks. So to be, in business for 29 years, that's pretty amazing. Something to celebrate.
Yeah, people compliment me on the food and the interior design of the house all the time, and those things kind of come naturally to me. But being a business owner is a lot of hard work, and if I'm proud of anything, it's that I've kept a business viable and operating for almost 3 decades, because that's been really a challenge. So
how are you adjusting to the pandemic?
Well, I feel in some ways like I've become a short order cook, because the phone rings or I get a message and I whip together to-go dinner and put it in the oven and send it out the door. And it's been interesting. I'm thought maybe I was too old to learn new tricks, but I seem to have been doing fine. And during those first 2 weeks when we were totally shut down, I thought I was going to lose my mind. I mean, the Bluebell is my social life, and my customers are my friends, and it gives me a reason to get out of bed and get dressed and do something every day. And I really missed it when we weren't open. I thought before that I was maybe ready to retire, and then I thought, no, I need something to do. So I'm very thankful that we've had support from the community and faithful customers to take us through. And the bed and breakfast has been really slow, and that's hard because that's what pays the bills. So, but I'm very thankful. My mortgages are paid off. You still have utilities and insurance and payroll and all those things. But I'm very thankful that this came upon me as a business person who at least has their mortgages paid off, or I'm not sure what would have happened. So it's, yeah.
Were you able to take advantage of any of the relief that was available for business owners?
I got some of the PPE money, and I kept my staff coming in, and we worked on some, various special projects. And our chamber and one of the banks here in town also gave out some grants that were helpful, and all that helped. It's all gone now, and business hasn't picked up much. So, but it definitely took me through the last, hard 3, almost 4 months. And so I'm hoping that things get back to normal now, because I'm on my own. So
how has the town in general been? How has the town in general adjusted to the pandemic?
Well, it's been really slow, as far as I can tell. A lot of empty streets down along the shops. And I think people in town have been really trying to, stay local and shop local. And we've been really fortunate here that until recently, we've had hardly any cases, and we still have relatively few. So I think we've all been doing a lot more business locally than even before, and trying to support each other. And that has really helped. And what happens from here, I hope everybody survives, because it's really such a wonderful little town, and we have so many reasons to come and visit, that I hope everybody can hang in there till things get back to normal. So.
Me too.
Yeah.
I got to engage with you on a creative level this last summer, and in talking to you, I know that you're a creative person in so many ways. Can you share with me a little bit about your writing, your novels, and also just what other creative pursuits you have?
Okay. Well, I've always been a creative person. I started painting a few years ago, and I've painted paintings to go with some of my novels, and I've been writing books for about a decade and a half, and I'm the published author of 13 books and a novella. And my latest one is called Plum Tart Iris, and it's a Wildflowers of Bohemia mystery. And the one before that was called Seaside Daisy, and it was a Wildflowers of Ireland mystery. And Seaside Daisy is the one that I wrote the song Seaside Daisy Shanty in your workshop.
Yeah.
And it's just a fun novel, and writing the song really made it come alive for me. And I just had an absolutely great time at the workshop, and it was fun. You guys did a great job of leading it.
Oh, thank you. Well, we had really amazing people to work with, and you were certainly one of the people that came in with such a beautiful and strong idea and really brought it to such a great place. I've been watching the footage of all of us singing it together, and that was such a special moment to have everybody.
It really was. It was a wonderful thing for me. You know, I guess in the back of your head, you kind of know that you can do something or that the capability is there. But you guys were so inspiring, and you really made me believe in myself that I could do it. And just the help and the, you know, the creative suggestions really just were wonderful. That really helped bring it all together. I don't think I ever would have written that song, or probably any other of the songs that I've written since then, if it wasn't for your encouragement. So thank you.
Yeah, let's talk about that. What have you been writing? How has that been going for you?
Well, I wrote a couple other songs soon after the workshop, and I've not recorded any of them, but the lyrics ended up in the book, Seaside Daisy. And in the book, Cavan is a songwriter, and he plays the guitar, and he would go in Ireland. You just kind of walk into a pub, and there's all these guys that are just kind of jamming, and women too, and you just go sit down with them, and they make the circle a little bigger, and everybody's playing these traditional Irish folk tunes, and that's what Cavan does in the book periodically. So it worked into the song, or worked into the book real well, that he would debut a couple of original songs when he was down playing at the pub. And since then, you know, I've had little melodies float through my head, and I have a couple on my phone that, like, when I'm working back in the kitchen, I'll just kind of put my phone on record for a second and hum along. So there's a shot of my kitchen floor, my kitchen countertop with me humming. And then I have been working on this Bohemian novel. And when we were in the Czech Republic last year, we heard all kinds of great live bands playing. You know, it's kind of a cross between folk music and oompa music. There's a little German influence, and there's some accordion, and we just loved the music over there. And we went to an international folklore festival. So there were a lot of dancers in wonderful costumes dancing to the traditional Czech music and Moravian music. And we have recordings of all of that. So I've been trying to retrain my mind to go from the Celtic melodies, which come more naturally to me, to that kind of Czech sounding, Bohemian sounding folk music. And I have the words written for a song that goes along with Plum Tart Iris. And so now I just have to find a good melody for it and work on that a little bit.
Well, I hope that you finish it. Are you planning on releasing the music alongside your writings?
Well, I had hoped to do that with Seaside Daisy, and I'm still working on I want to have a YouTube thing with the music in the background, and then some of the beautiful photographs that I have of the wild Atlantic Way that we took when we were in Ireland, and make a video so people can hear the music and visually see the countryside where Seaside Daisy is set. And eventually I'd like to do the same thing for Plum Tart Iris. We have lots of beautiful photos of the Bohemian countryside and Prague, and would love to set those to some original music and have it on YouTube to help publicize the book.
It sounds like your travels really inspire your creative process.
They do, and I feel so bad because we were supposed to go to Scotland this spring, and you know that got canceled because of COVID, and then we rescheduled. We were supposed to leave on August 31st, and that's been canceled because Scotland is not allowing travelers from the United States into the country at this time. So we've rebooked for next spring, and I'm already looking forward to it, and I really hope that it happens this time, because I work really hard. That's one of my big motivations for working so hard here at the Bluebells, because I want to earn enough money to pay for my next international adventure. And I really look forward to those, and just the break from being away from here after I worked hard. So yeah, I'm so privileged to have been able to travel to so many places over the years. And I lived in Europe for 3 years when I was younger. So it's a wonderful thing to be able to travel and see the world, and it helps change your perspective. I think the reason I love living in a small town and have learned to appreciate this is because I get to travel to big cities and other countries and other continents, and makes you appreciate what you have, and yet it broadens your perspective and helps you to have a greater understanding of how other people live and in the world. And it's been a good thing for me.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that actually, with your sort of worldly perspective and your appreciation for St. Ansgar. Can you tell me a little bit about what you find so valuable about living in St. Ansgar?
Well, I think the main thing is that I'm just kind of a farm girl at heart, and I grew up in a farm halfway between Austin and Lyle, Minnesota, so just a few miles north of here. And I am just a small town girl at heart. Part of the reason I left Colorado Springs is it was getting too big for me, and it's not even a big city. But I like exploring in big cities, but there's just this comfort level and this friendliness and this low-keyed pace that I find in a small town, and it really appeals to me. And when I was younger, I just wanted to get away from here, and I went to Wheaton College, which is outside Chicago, and I really wanted to be in the big city at that point. And then as I got older, I just started to I don't know, if someone had told me even before I moved back here that I was going to move back here in a year, I would have said, you're absolutely crazy, you've lost your mind. Because, I liked that there were things to do, and I went to a really big church out there, and I had lots of friends, and we were all kind of single and away from our families, and so we had great times together. And that all changed. I just always say it's a God thing, because I was obviously meant to be back here in this place doing what I'm doing. Just took me a while to realize it, or maybe for, I don't know, the stars to line up and to things happen in such a way that I would be happy here. But once I moved back, I'll mention my dad again, because when I was trying to figure out if I wanted to move back or not, my parents really never said a word. Like, they weren't encouraging, or they didn't say, oh yeah, you should move back here. They just were strangely silent. But then once I decided to make the move, they were just like totally gung-ho, and I never could have gotten the Bluebell open without my dad's help and my mom's help, and my whole family pitched in and helped me get the house renovated and get it done. And my dad said later that he said, well, I didn't want you to be mad at me if you moved back here and didn't like it. And which, made perfect sense, because it was a decision I had to come to on my own at the right time. And so, but I've been very happy here.
What gives you hope for the future?
Well, that's an interesting question, because I'm kind of right on the cusp of thinking that one day soon I need to retire. And I've been joking for about 5 years now that one of these days I'm going to keel over in the kitchen or retire, or some combination of the above. And as I think about the future and what I hope for it, it's a really kind of a bittersweet thing, because I really love what I do so much, and I love where I am, that I really don't want that to change. And yet things do change, and life moves on, and I feel passionate about my writing and about music and about painting and about doing a lot of other things that I could certainly enter into more fully if I wasn't working here so many hours. So I guess I'm just hopeful that at this stage that I'll have a retirement, no matter what it looks like. So many people, I think, dream about the day that they can retire and are hopeful that they can take the fruit of their labor and build themselves a nice retirement to spend their later years doing what they want to do. And I don't know, the world is kind of a scary place right now, so I'll just be happy if it happens, and I feel less picky about how that looks and how it happens, just that it does, and that I can pursue some of my other passions in the days to come. So
What would your vision for the Bluebell be after you retire? What would you like to have happen with it?
Well, I would love to find someone that I could kind of mentor and who would take it over and kind of run with it and make it their own creative thing, but to still have it be some sort of a house that's open to the public and entering into people's lives the way it has while I've been here. I don't have any kids, so again, you just gotta pray that the right person will come along at the right time. And I've also kind of decided in the back of my mind that when I do retire, that I probably don't want to live in St. Ansgar, because it's one thing to like turn over the reins to someone who would do something different with the place, but I don't know if I can be right next door watching it happen or anything. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that would be tough to see like somebody sort of make adjustments to your legacy.
Yeah.
I think that's tough for anybody who runs an organization or does anything really, to hand it over to somebody else and kind of watch them make it their own. It's a tough thing.
Definitely. But it's a wonderful town and it's brought me a lot of happiness. So ultimately, I just want to see someone here that is happy and loves St. Ansgar and loves the house. And if that ends up being, family that would live here or something, that's great. I just want the house to continue to bring happiness to someone the way it has me. So.
Well, I want that for it too. And I hope that I get to come back to St. Ansgar for many, many, many years to come and be able to visit the Bluebell.
Yes.
And I can't wait for this pandemic to be over so that I can come and enjoy like the murder mysteries and all the programming that you've been doing there. It's so cool that you've added that to what the Bluebell is up to. You've really expanded since I've been there, the vision of what the Bluebell is and what it means to the community, huh?
Oh, I have, and we've done writers' retreats and cooking seminars and had a lot of great musicians here, and that's been wonderful for me too, because I enjoyed all of that kind of thing when I lived in a bigger town, and so here it's like we'll bring the fun here, and then I get to enjoy it too. So it's been a great time.
Well, thank you for creating culture within the community and offering that as a service, and all of the love that you put into your business and all of the love that you put into the songwriting workshop. Again, it was lovely to work with you, and you could just tell how much heart you bring to your storytelling and how much heart you bring to your musicianship. And it was a pleasure to get to work with you and really a pleasure to get to talk to you today.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that. And I feel the same about you. Like I said, you created such an open, accepting, caring environment where we were free to just pour out our hearts into our music and try things that we were scared to do. And you made it a very comfortable, very inspiring learning atmosphere. You did a great job, both of you. So.
Thank you. Yeah, I hope we get to come back again and do the program in the future once we can be in space together again. I will for sure. I'll hit you up about that. Well, thank you. Thank you, Sherrie. I really appreciate you taking the time today, and I hope you have a really lovely rest of your evening.
Thank you. I'm sure we will, and you too. Take care.
Next time on Home Again, I sit down with Kurt Meyer, chair of the Tri-County Democrats of Iowa. Join us next time on Home Again, Conversations from the Heartland.